Geopolitically, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature, that mean extorted it. They forging it, if news anchors informant to informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this, we courting ships, important gifts, of course it is. What extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing disinforming this. It looked like we were storing tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers actors say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?
In a world. All right, what is going on? I did throw a Q&A up on YouTube, so any questions that you want me to answer, just submit them. They'll be separate from the chat. Please just ask questions in there, and I shall answer them. All right. So tonight's stream is called The Flat Earth Comeback. So I saw someone say, don't call it a comeback. Well, I mean, if we're being honest, the flat earth space has been interesting. I would say it's maybe even had some revisions in the last few months since our trip. So, yeah, it's a comeback. They attempted to end flat earth. They're claiming that they did, but they didn't. You can't. You cannot. Cool. Yeah, I will go ahead and tell you. So I planned on streaming a lot more often than I have been. Just a lot's happened since I last streamed. I have had to travel a good amount, and then there's been like pretty crazy issues with it. Issues with flights, stranded, staying, out of town much longer than expected. I feel like I have barely even been at the house. So that's really the primary thing. Also, I just had other things I had to try to take care of. So that is the situation. So you guys, I haven't even told you guys, but we have the summit this weekend. the 14th and the 15th online virtual summit. It's called the Etheric Summit. And that is this weekend. I actually want to go grab my laptop and put it up here. So I'm going to step away in a sec and do that. So yeah, you can look in the description, also pin in the chat if you want to go to the summit. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I want to kind of break this down, right? Like, so I've always kind of had a bit of an issue with this, and I've brought it up a few times. You know, flat Earth, simply the term, is utilized to shift the burden of proof, and to box in really, you know, the movement that is referred to as flat Earth, to box it in, to caricature it, to strawman it, to shift the burden over to it. And if you make any positive claims, you have the burden of proof, right? If you say the Earth is flat, yeah, you have a burden of proof for that. Absolutely. But it is very frustrating because of how that is utilized. This is the truth, okay? And we all know, right? It's like a huge stigma is attached to it. There are many people oftentimes that will be very vocal in public that call themselves flat earthers that will be incorrect about a lot of things, that will spread misinformation. You know, I think that it's very similar to like truther traps. You'll have false information that's shared around, and then it'll be kind of circulated. People won't really fact check it. They'll just kind of repeat things. And it's used as such a weapon. Like, for example, when I'm on a space, if I'm ever on a space on X, and the topic can be almost anything. And if I start really going in on the topic, and there's someone there disagreeing, defending the other side of said topic, that wants to discredit me or poison the well, they instantly just say, this is the guy. I mean, to be fair, this is the guy who thinks, let me know if the mic is like too much right now. To be fair, this is the guy who thinks that the Earth is flat. Can you guys give me a feedback? I just saw it was in the red. If it was a little distorted. Mic is good. Cool. So, you know, and that's just really annoying because what we know is that the vast majority of people don't know anything about the extremely vast topic that is referred to as flat Earth. There's so much involved in the process of waking up to the fact that where we live is not what we have been told. It just isn't. Factually, provably, it is not. And there's so much that goes into it, and it's very annoying, right? When you have this other group of people that largely don't know anything, and they haven't researched it at all. They don't even understand what it is that's involved with that awakening, that process. They're not even fully aware of what they believe to be true, and they think they're super dismissive and cocky and arrogant and stuff like that, right? And we know how it goes. This happens with lots of topics, from vaccines to geopolitical topics, and the list goes on and on. Germ theory, you know, Hiroshima, nuclear bombs, alleged nuclear bomb, dinosaurs, giants, different historical timelines. I mean, there are so many huge truths that have been suppressed, so many major lies. And that is not our fault. We didn't lie. We didn't create the world the way that it was. We didn't. We weren't in charge of history. We aren't the ones that chose to mislead people. We didn't do any of that. There are facts. There is truth. There are lies. that are used to suppress and hide that truth. And then there's groups of people that will dig beneath the surface, diligently research something, and find truths. And truth has no obligation to conform to what makes you comfortable, right? And I know it's pretty meta, but I want to kind of point this out. This is what's very interesting about it. There's a few different ways I can go with this, right? But first, I want to point out that really, flat Earth, it's all about being a globe Earth skeptic. That's how it starts. It is merely having the audacity to challenge your own belief, to question it. And it's a topic that's ingrained in us as such a rudimentary fact of life at such a young age that people are basically engineered to just, I think it's preposterous when they hear it. And I mean, I don't blame them for that. When I first heard it, I was literally just perplexed. I was like, what does that even mean? I was like, this is like obviously a troll. That's what I thought. Like, I don't even know what it means. What does that even like? That's retarded, right? So I understand that aspect of it, but what it is, it's like someone just kind of conveys the idea to you. Well, there's people that say that the Earth is not what we all kind of think it is. It isn't this blue marble globe that we've been shown. It isn't in this universe that we all kind of learned growing up. It just isn't what we've been told. It's different. And that there is, a deception in terms of where we live. And so when you hear that, even to get to that, it's a little different. You're like, oh, so there's just people that think that like are investigating the nature of the Earth. They don't agree that it is already fully known, right? That is literally what flat Earth is. That's how it starts, etc. The burden of proof is on these claims, like this idea that that's a picture of the Earth, the blue marble that we see, that's what the Earth looks like. That's a picture of the Earth, that people went hundreds of thousands of miles out into a vacuum, turned around and saw it, right? That we are flying through space, 66,600 miles per hour around the sun. And we're actually free falling. We're actually free falling around the sun while the moon free falls around us. And the sun is actually free falling through space at over 500,000 miles per hour. Like, these are claims and that the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon and makes the Earth look like it's just insignificant. It's so much smaller, right? And that the moon is actually a piece of rock that broke off from the Earth because another giant planet that's nowhere to be found now came and hit the Earth. And then one of the rocks that broke off the Earth just decided to kick it and stick around the Earth, turned into that perfect circle we see in the sky called the moon, which just so happens to be the exact same size as that perfect circle we see in the sky called the sun. And they just so happen to kind of roll over the opposite portions of the day, right? Night and day. So, not to get too lost in the sauce there, the thing is, like, there's a positive, and I know I've said this like 1,000 times, but this is just a fact. There is a positive claim on the table, and it's that the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles, a circumference of 24,901 miles. Thus, it's curving, right? The surface is curving at a rate roughly 7.98 inches per mile squared. And when you look out, you see the horizon, and that the horizon is the physical leading edge of a sphere. That's a physical place. Like, you can touch it. It's like a hill in front of you. And based on that size claim, it's 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet away. And that we are tilted. that the Earth is tilted on an axis of 23.4 degrees. And it's wobbling like four different ways simultaneously. So we're just sitting here wobbling on a tilted axis, and it's spinning at the same time, 1,037 miles per hour east of the equator once a day. And that's what gives us the day. And that simultaneously, it is again moving around the sun, which is way bigger. Of course, we see the sun and it looks as though the sun is smaller than the earth, and it moves over top of the earth, as does the moon. But the claim is actually it's way bigger than the earth, and we're moving around it. While we're tilted, wobbling, spinning, we're moving around the sun 66,000. Now, these are very basic things. The thing is that we've been told it so many times that when I start to even say them out loud, people don't even register that their mind isn't even present in the moment to hear the information about what they believe. They are 100% preoccupied with the notion that someone has the audacity to think it isn't true. It is a wild, kind of mental situation. It's like a spell, basically. So I know a lot of people that are on this channel know that. I know there's going to end up being a crossover of a bunch of different audiences. Once I start to regularly stream and jump on these spaces and stuff. And I just want to kind of break this down because it seems to always get lost in the sauce, bro. It's like, factually, we experience a stationary Earth. We experience a flat Earth, a plane Earth with some topography. We experience, huge oceans that are seemingly flat. They're not perfectly flat because there's motion within the water, but they are level. We use that horizontal datum of the oceans to, establish sea level and then get elevation, a vertical distance above that. We utilize the Earth in our local proximity as a stationary plane all day, every day, forever, for everything. That's just a fact. That's what we do. When we travel on the Earth, that's what we do. When we do engineering on the Earth, that's what we do. When we build things on the Earth, that's what we do. And so one of the major ways that we live in such an upside down clown world where we have people sexualizing children and trying to convince them they can identify as a cat, where we have people that don't understand the concept of limiting mass immigration, undocumented mass immigration, in order to pull off a scenario where there are people alive that are seemingly incapable of applying the simple concept of having a gate in your neighborhood or a fence around your house or a door on your house that locks, and that same principle applies to your country. In order to pull off some of these insane things, right? I mean, that you are sick, you're just going to feel completely healthy, and then you need to take something that's going to make you feel sick, but it's actually keeping you from being sick. Though you feel healthy, you will now feel sick, but now you're actually healthy, and that if you didn't, you would die, even though no one actually dies. And we can't actually find what it is that we're claiming is making you sick, but we know it has to be there. And you should actually be very fearful of the very things that keep you alive. That's what makes you sick, even though you don't feel like you're sick, and you're going to feel like completely healthy. And the only time you're going to feel sick is when you start to take the stuff that we're giving you to supposedly help you from being sick. Like, I'm bringing this up. The only way you can pull these types of things off is you have to get people to not understand logic. They have to not be familiar with logic, not comprehend it, not properly integrate it, much less properly apply it. And that is what happens. That is what happened. That's where we are. People do not understand logic, like very basic laws of logic. Like, we're at a place now, people don't understand the law of identity, right? Literally, people don't even understand the concept of something is what it is. And so it's a very crazy place that we are in. So when we try to have conversations, something as profound and as vast of a discussion as cosmology, I mean, it's very difficult in today's social climate. And that's why I always go back to logic to even introduce the subject. It's the only way you can even hope to have some type of fruitful discussion. And this is very simple. The default position is that the Earth is stationary because that's what we experience. We have to utilize the Earth as if it's stationary. That's what the empirical evidence shows us. That's the default position based on empirical evidence. It's default because the evidence shows us that the Earth is stationary. Thus, if you come in and say, okay, actually the Earth is not stationary, you have the burden of proof. You now need to provide empirical evidence to show that actually the antithesis of the default position is true. And what happens in this discussion is people think if they can merely articulate a theoretical possibility of why it would appear to be stationary, but actually it's not, then that makes it true. It should now be granted the claim as if it were true. Well, sure, it's like it's stationary, but it's actually because the Earth is so big that the rate in which it moves compared to its size is effectively really slow, and you just can't tell it's moving. The angular rotation is very, very slow relative to its size. So it's going to appear as if it's stationary. We're so dumbed down as a society collectively now that people are so proud of themselves to be able to understand that concept that they equate it to the truth. I hope that makes sense to you. That is all I ever see in this discussion. There are some exceptions. There are people that have become really obsessed with the discussion on the other side, meaning like kind of the mainstream side. And that isn't always the case for them. But largely speaking, and even oftentimes with them, that is the case. That I don't want to be ugly though, right? I don't want to be too. It's just like the ineptitude of the average person today is mind blowing. And they're so proud of themselves for being able to understand concepts that if they're able to do that, certainly if they're able to say it back to you or articulate it, memorize it, regurgitate it, that is the totality of the goal for them. They're like, okay, this is the truth. Okay, so that isn't how it works. That isn't how logic works. That isn't how truth works. So the default position is that the Earth is a stationary plane, topographical plane, and really there's no evidence to objectify the Earth, to claim it as an object. In order to claim it as an object, you need to be able to definitively confirm the finite nature of it. Now, logically, you can say there seemingly is, a finite nature to it based on everything else that we know. But like calling it an object is really just an assumption as well. So the nature of the Earth on its face is that it's a stationary plane. This is a fact. This is a fact on its face. Okay. So if you say the Earth is flat, if you say the Earth is stationary, yes, you do have a burden of proof. It's very easily satisfied, though. All evidence ever. That's the truth. Like all engineering. Flying a plane. Walking outside. Standing on the Earth. Doing anything in relation to the Earth. Any tests, anything you do. I mean, these are actual practical demonstration, physical demonstrations, the practical, physical efficacy of technology, the actual application of technology on Earth is physical evidence of the stationary nature, the static nature of the Earth. So yes, all positive claims have the burden of proof. You say the Earth is stationary, you say it's flat, you have the burden of proof. It's easily satisfied its default position based on empirical evidence. So that's what I mean by it's so frustrating that people are like, wait, you think what? And then they start peppering you with questions. Well, how would this work? Well, how does that work? Well, can you explain this? Well, I don't think it makes sense. But it's like, that's not how this works. There isn't some arbitrary standard until you're arbitrarily satisfied that enough of your questions have been answered. That now all of a sudden the principle of the burden of proof can be applied. And until that moment, it's discounted. It is wild. And like how long I've been in the discussion, for example, and it's just seemingly still not understood. You can think I'm wrong. You can feel like you're positive I'm wrong about what I think about the Earth. It doesn't change the objective nature of what I'm saying right now. Okay. You come in making a claim antithetical to the default position based on all of the empirical evidence, you have the burden of proof. Okay, so prove that we're tilted, wobbling, spinning, revolving, flying through space. Prove that space is what you claim that it is. Prove that the Earth is, in fact, a sphere with a radius of 3959. Prove that there's a core. All of the claims require proof. It just is what it is. All right. So really, it's like a group of people that found out when you really dig into it, you find out that this mainstream model of the Earth, it is just built upon a ton of presuppositions, largely which are untestable. They are simply presupposed, assumed, affirmed, reified. And then the reifications, the presuppositions are stacked upon each other, reapplied, bundled up into additional claims. And if you go all the way to the core, pun not intended, you will find out that the core claims are not ever actually substantiated. So there's a group of people that were humble enough to even consider it. Humble enough to consider something seemingly so basic, something so fundamental. You're like, well, what can it hurt? I'm going to look into it. I should be able to always challenge what I believe to be true. I see this problem on both quote unquote sides, right? You should always be able to challenge what you believe to be true. So anyway, the point is like, yeah, globe skeptic. I don't believe in the globe. Whatever, globe denialist. Like what? It's a lack of belief. And I can only speak for myself. There are certainly some people that, oh, you're definitely there are some people that they think they know exactly what the Earth is or whatever. Like, okay, that's them. Like, bro, here's the deal. It's like, I don't know what the entirety of the Earth is. It is absolutely preposterous. There are groups of people that think that they do know. And in fact, the most intelligent people know that they don't know. The least intelligent people really think they do know and are overly confident in that fact, because what they're really doing is assuming there's someone else they know is more competent than them that has figured it out for them. And that's how they know. Right? Like you factually don't know. No one's ever dug deeper than 8 miles. You factually don't know what's beneath there. You don't. You can't. It's impossible. You don't know. You just factually don't know. No one has been out into quote unquote space, that very vast area above us where we see tons and tons of lights. That's really pretty. You don't know what's out there. You don't know what that stuff is. You don't know how big it is. You don't know how far away it is. You don't know where it ends if it ends. You don't know what it is. You just don't. I'm sorry. That's a fact. You don't know. So, really, the truth is, the only honest position is over in the realm of what is typically labeled flat Earth, right? Because that label is thrown on anyone that dares challenges the status quo. We know what the Earth is. When I see one of those little specks out in the sky, I know, Austin, that it's 46 billion light years away. Yes, 1 light year might be 5.88 trillion miles. 46 billion of those light years, which again is like 6 trillion miles. So 5.88 trillion. You can't even conceive of that number realistically. You can't. Because you have nothing of which to compare that to. 5.88 trillion miles times 46 billion. Okay, that's how many miles away you think one of those lights in the sky. No one could ever possibly know that, much less verify that. And so this is the part that's super frustrating for me. It's like, you have the most crazy, preposterous, unfounded belief comprised of merely presuppositions known to man. Like a belief that simply cannot, will not, never, ever will be verified. And then it's just like, not only do you believe that little dot is 46 billion light years away, again, 5.88 trillion times 46 billion miles away. You think you know what it's made of and how it was born and how it was created and what happened to it billions of years ago, and that you're looking back in time, and that a spoonful of one of those stars weighs like trillions of tons, like just preposterous things. So I just want to make that very clear. Technically, logically, you can stop right there. You can say, okay, this is really the best way to be. And it's not people's pride and ego. They don't like this. Certainly when it comes to kind of ostracism or kind of societal kickback or whatever. And certainly when the other side is kind of telling you that the other way of thinking is telling you that you have tons of answers. They have tons of answers for you. And thus juxtaposed, it's as if going the other route is like being a caveman. People do the same thing with cellular biology and DNA models and germ theory and all kinds of things. And the brain and physical particles. And it's like, but Austin, we have all these names for all of these little subatomic particles. We know that a lot of stuff happens on this smaller scale. We're able to predict that it's going to happen and kind of even quantify, mathematically describe the phenomena, utilize it to make all kinds of very sophisticated and impressive technology. And in order to do that, we created models so that we could then, implement that quantification. So you're coming over here telling me, oh, I can't have my models. And no, that's not. You can have your models. It's just factual that those models are not reality. They are useful, oftentimes very, very useful. The model of the electron, very useful. The phenomena of the electron, very real. The electron doesn't exist. The charge-carrying particle of matter called the electron doesn't exist. Okay. Now, I have decided I'm actually going to write a book. I'm going to write like a series of books. And it's, I may eventually at one point in my life write like a really extensive book and write it over the course of some years or something. That's not what this is going to be. I'll probably just release this like in electronic form. You may be good. I'll like upload a PDF to Amazon. I guess they'll physically print it for you. I may do that. And it's going to be like thin, easy, quick read series of maybe 5 books, just kind of explaining this. And that's what this summit is about, by the way. It's just about, step back and realize man, there is this really limited, confined, materialistic view of the world that just simply it isn't true. It's built upon lots of presuppositions. And when you actually start going trying to fact check it, you end up empty-handed. You start to see actually not only can I not find the proof or evidence of these things, we're starting to find refutations, direct refutations of these things. So then you start to just do what you're supposed to do, which is accept the evidence for what it is, examine it, integrate it, apply it, and then you actually begin to realize, whoa, this realm is awesome. It's also a very integral part of this realm is accountability, importance of intention. There's a lot of responsibility on even in terms of how you affect just this like material realm. It's real, bro. This isn't woo woo. It's just factual. And it is wild when you start to actually see these aren't just these exciting theoretical concepts. This is actually how this place works. This is actually how this place was built and designed. And it's like a sci-fi movie times 1,000. Um, it's very cool. It's also, again, it begins to really change things. It's like, okay, your thoughts, your intentions, your beliefs, they're important. Um, like very important. They affect things. And that can be empowering or you can take it the other way and maybe, I don't know, live in fear, feel overwhelmed, whatever. Um, I don't know, I'm going all over the place. What I do, I just kind of rant, right? But this is like the driving factor of atheism, which doesn't actually exist, but it is people are just uncomfortable with the idea of some type of moral accountability, like some type of objective nature of accountability or morality or a linear code of ethics. Accountability is not comfortable for people that maybe are doing things they don't want to be held accountable for. So anyway, bringing this all the way back, it's the same thing with all of these topics. It's like if you tell someone germ theory, what are you sure germ theory is true? I challenge your belief. Can you prove it for me? People think it's insane, preposterous. They'll laugh. They'll be dismissive. They'll start to talk down to you and say, "Oh, you're so mentally challenged. Oh my gosh. Well, I can't believe you're allowed to leave the house. Don't forget your helmet. This is the education system has really failed." And da 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 da. Right? Like, and they really are that confident. This is the thing about Dunning-Kruger, right? People usually don't realize it goes both ways. It's not just about someone really thinking that they know what they're talking about, but they don't. How there's an inversely proportionate relationship with like the pretentious nature of someone's behavior or even like their confidence and how much they know. And then the people that would be more adequately described as experts, which doesn't have to do with the piece of paper, I wouldn't say, but they're very informed, researched on the subject, that they have a good grasp of the subject. Um, Certainly, if they have like what we call high intelligence, higher processing speeds, retainment capabilities, um, they will actually undervalue their ability, underestimate it, think they don't know as much as they do. Whereas you will have the opposite be the case. People that aren't as smart and don't actually know as much being much more confident. So these people aren't really pretending. They actually do live in this world where they have this like completely unfounded false sense of security and confidence in these beliefs. And it's just they're thus very pretentious. Most people don't realize Dunning-Kruger goes both ways. People throw it around as just an insult. Ironically, the ineptitude integrated into the inability to properly understand and apply Dunning-Kruger is a good example of Dunning-Kruger, the way people use it as a one-sided insult without understanding. It's pretty funny. But I'm saying so the comeback of flat Earth, and I mean that meaning that there clearly has been a shift, right? Maybe even like a bit of a revision. There certainly was like a launched attack. There was a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it was interesting, but I I've never really resonated too much with like a monolith of thought or anything like that. And so shaking stuff up it's just always cool to me. Certainly if the cause of it is just that some like actual evidence that maybe wasn't expected by some people is verified and it's like, okay, this is perfect. I mean, this needed to happen, right? This needed to happen. So the comeback being uh, I I can tell you, and this is what I think, is that it is all just gonna gel right back and um it's gonna come back. It's coming back stronger than ever because now it is for one, it's equipped with more knowledge and it's a bit more polished. It's a bit more of a veteran, you know. And of course we are personifying and like technically reifying that, but uh so yeah, it's the comeback of flat earth. And I think I'm gonna start doing whatever I can do to kind of like, this topic's gonna be addressed. And we're not playing this little like the least informed people are the loudest game anymore. We're not doing that anymore. You know, um, I also am like a big proponent now of like information and knowledge and discussion needs to be consensual. Just completely pointless here. It's even damaging to someone and maybe even yourself if it's not. But anyway, so and I will break that down again real quick and like a little bit of a summary here. The default position based on empirical evidence that the Earth is a stationary topographical plane. Any claim antithetical to that, such as the fact that actually it's the exact opposite, which is what antithetical means, that it's tilted, wobbling, spinning sphere, free falling through an ever expanding vacuum of nothingness, even though vacuums aren't really a thing. It's a near perfect vacuum, and we're free falling through it at almost 70,000 miles per hour. Uh, that has not just a burden of proof, an immense burden of proof. And until that burden of proof is fulfilled, if you were to attribute a win to someone, it would be the side that has already satisfied its burden of proof. Nothing changes that. Appeals to incredulity, red herring, shifting the burden of proof. It just doesn't matter. Affirming the consequent, like, oh, I came up with a model antithetical to what the empirical evidence is. And if I go look at this presupposing my model is true, within my model, I've integrated that observation or that phenomena. So that fact the phenomena exists proves that my model is correct, or the fact that I fell to comprehend some type of explanation for said phenomena from within what the default empirical position is, then therefore the default empirical position cannot be true, despite the fact that it has actually fulfilled its burden of proof. And my position, void of fulfilling and satisfying that burden of proof, is true now. If you follow that, then you understand that is just absolutely preposterous. And that's kind of what happens. So, all right, we won't go too much into that, but I do think it needs to be kind of broken down and addressed. It is what it is. People keep asking me all kinds of, and I'll check the questions in a sec. But like, the people ask me all these different questions, and then the people ask me if I flipped and stuff. It's like, if you fully knew my position, it wouldn't even be a question to ask me. So if you're familiar with my content, I feel like I've broken this down quite a bit. A singular celestial observation literally doesn't combat the empirical evidence my position is founded upon. I suspended belief. My position is that I suspended belief of the mainstream model of the Earth, which was a globe free falling through a vacuum while it's spinning, tilted wobbling. I suspended that belief. I do not hold that belief. I do not basically grant that belief. You can have it. I deny it. I'm a globe denier. I don't adhere to that belief. I don't pull my mind out, my brain out, and hand it over to you so you can tell me that's true. Without actually satisfying the purpose. I have nothing to do with that. That's all this is. It is a position that cannot be defeated because it is just the proper, logically bulletproof position. You believe in the cult of bombarding particles. You believe in an electron that is a charge carrying particle of matter, like Santa carries a sack and it's 99.99999% empty space, and we can never actually find where it is. And we've updated it to a cloud distribution, a mathematical construct that we use to say that there's a certain percentage chance that it's in this certain volume area because we don't actually know where it is. And it's called a point particle because it has no known size or shape. But I promise it's matter, but no shape or size. But it's matter that's 99.99999% empty space, and it's a charge carrying particle of matter. And when you, well, okay, what's a charge? What is it that it's carrying? It's carrying a charge. A charge? What is a charge? Or like, if it's a particle carrying charge, what is charge? You know, and it's like, I was gonna say, so if you what I would say a more proper denotation of charge, right? It's seemingly just vibrational displacement. It's vibration. Everything's vibratory. But even that, it's like vibration. What is vibration? It's a displacement of what? Right? It's a displacement. It's a movement. What's moving? Displacement of what? Because in order for something to vibrate, for something to wave, there has to be something to wave. And so some people get really frustrated with the proper methodology of evaluating claims because they want a bunch of answers. They want to live in a fantasy world where they have a bunch of answers that they don't have. And that's really what it all comes down to. Certainly now that society is kind of geared around like placating that, they want to also fit in. So anyway, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I hope that makes sense because this is such a freeing understanding. You know, like you're no longer subjected to or victim to like this just overwhelming plethora of claims that you just can't fully understand. They don't make sense. They're paradoxical. They're elusive. You can't verify them or validate them. You must just blindly believe them. You got questions, suck it up, you know, Google it, and maybe it'll tell you something that they just recently came up with or what the current made up belief is. And you're supposed to now just integrate this into yourself and believe it. And it's such a lost way of viewing life and of living. You know, the mainstream model of the earth is very similar to germ theory, very similar to, you know, like this quantum realm and the reified models within and subatomic particles and DNA models and cellular biology models. And there are all kinds of models, you know, biology. These things are just made up. This is why I'm so excited about this summit, and I put the list of speakers together very tactfully, and it's going to be epic. It's going to be so epic. And kind of the name grifter. Dude, so many people use the word grifter, and I found out that you don't even know what grifting is. Do you know what grifting means? Grifting is someone swindling, selling something that they don't believe in, something that they don't believe to be true. That's what grifting is. It's like a snake oil salesman, knowing that it doesn't actually work but selling it. Grifting is someone doing something for money, typically monetary gain, that they don't actually believe in. It's lying. They have to lying to scam people, lying to get money, grifting. What people do is that if they see anyone ever make any money, they call them a grifter. It's like, no, you're not very bright. That isn't That's not what the word means. It's only a few letters. You should be able to Google it and type it into a keyboard before you say it a lot. Anyway, so yeah, and we'll talk about the summit in a second. It's going to be dope. And then because I wasn't really able to announce it for a while, and I'm kind of like doing the whole thing, I guess people probably know that Jaron and I used to do the summits, and obviously with the way that some, recent events transpired, it's kind of fallen on my lap. There's a group of people that got lifetime, and so, we're no longer doing that, right? Like Jaron and I mean, who saw this coming, right? But we were planning on kind of, hosting summits regularly, and that's not happening now. So, technically it's like lifetime of that, whatever it is, product or service, as long as it lasts. But I do want to, I'll just take the L here, right? But I want to honor anyone that got lifetime of the old summits. So check your email, and whatever the email is, and this is the only way that I can do it, right? To get all the information that we do have. One thing that's crazy is Celix, which we used to use. I guess it got shut down by the FBI, and like you just have no access to any of the stuff there. But yeah, I think the best I can compile. I think I've managed to do that. Lifetime, check your emails, and you will get a ticket to this summit. So check your emails. And the summit is Saturday and Sunday. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. Saturday goes to 10 and beyond, and then it starts at 1 p.m. Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday starts at the same time. And obviously you have music and entertainment. We got Conspiracy Music Guru at the beginning, first day. It's going to be awesome. And then you got a bunch of different presentations. And Saturday night is Jaron and I are debating. So we are debating at the summit. So Jaron and I are debating the Earth, as has been very frequently requested, and it will be at the summit. And so, yes, you will only see the debates live if you're at the summit, and then somewhere down the road we'll publicly release it. I mean, it may be a few weeks, but we made it happen. You guys wanted the summit. I've made it happen. I mean, you wanted the debate. I've made it happen. Debate Saturday night. A bunch of people wanted Mindshock to moderate, and that wasn't able to work out because I was down. I agreed that would be like an awesome thing, but that's kind of sad. What do you mean? Sad that I'm debating Jaron? Witsit, are you still honest? Why did Jaron turn to the dark side, bro? I mean, Jaron believes what he says, and then I think he got sucked into the darkness that was coming out of a lot of the FE community, who also largely attacked me as well. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm out of here. That would be so stupid. The debate was over a long time ago. Like, no one cares. Like, if you feel the need to announce that you're leaving, like, you're probably not even really leaving. Like, no one cares. Can you watch replay if you buy a ticket? Yeah, of course. Yeah. You get lifetime access to it. So this is actually going to be a way better setup than previous summits. So each so say they're called sessions, right? Within Zoom events, you enter the room for that session, and then it immediately uploads to the event hub. So like it'll immediately be available for playback. You can always go back and watch it in that hub, and it'll immediately be there, and it'll be broken up into sessions. So yeah, pretty cool. And then obviously there is VIP Q&A panel, VIP debate after show. So that'll just be for VIP. I might put up a poll do you guys want me to try to get Jaren to go to the after show, the debate after show? No, but obviously we're just going to hang out and open up the mics for VIPs and kind of talk about the debate, answer any questions you have. We're just going to hang out after the debate on Saturday night. And then Sunday, again, we'll have some music, some dope presentations, VIP Q&A panel, so the VIPs can ask questions to the speakers that are at the panel. And then there will be like closing entertainment, so like a closing performance. And then there is like a VIP hangouts. So all the VIP will get to go into the private room. So obviously, general admission, they're not granted access to the VIP rooms. I will go more into detail because, like I said, I'm like just now even talking about this, and obviously to be able to get those speakers, I have to pay them, and so I'm really just hoping that a bunch of people like go so we can pull it off, right? But I'm way more in the like I'm gonna trust it bucket, but it is a lot of work, and so I can't stream crazy long tonight because I gotta basically stay up and keep working on all that. But I am going to offer like an absurd amount of stuff for VIP from my end. And I'll announce that in a second. I'm actually going to get a drink, use the bathroom, and come back. But um, you're going to get the first copy of, so like the series of books that I'm going to release and publish. You're going to get the first copy for free. An ebook. You'll get the ebook for free. I think it'll be a 5-part series. You'll get the first one for free. VIP. So if you buy a VIP ticket to this Etheric Summit, you'll get that. You will also get access to the like fasting, detox, like health community that I'm about to launch. You'll get the full first month free, which is going to be super cool. And we're going to have all kinds of things, all kinds of, I'm really excited about that and very passionate about that because, you know, if you don't have your health, what do you got, man? So I'll announce a couple more things, but just know if you get a VIP ticket, if you like get it through etheric.summit.com/tickets. So like the link, as opposed to another speaker's link, like specifically through the main one, then I'm going to give those VIP purchases like tons of stuff. So you're going to have free access to the like a full free month of the community that's about to launch. Also, I'm going to I don't want to say too much here, but like host something about kind of taxes and breaking all that down and showing people, you know, you'll get free admission to that as well. So, yep. And then, anyway, so to finish out the schedule, you had the VIP hangout. Everyone will just kind of hang out, and that's actually been like in a way like the highlight of the previous summits we used to do, because like we just have like awesome conversation and in the Zoom, so everyone can pop off, turn their camera on, hang out, and we just bring up all kinds of topics. People bring up what they want to talk about, whatever. This is going to be really cool because there are breakout rooms, so you guys can break out and talk to each other. Different people, different speakers can break out and talk to people. There will be like exhibits for different speakers, like their businesses and their services and the stuff that they have. They'll have little exhibits that you can go check out. There will be like an entire lobby that you can go like participate in all the time. So say like after the Saturday night stuff ends, you could still hang out in the overall like lobby of the event, like the event lobby and the hub. There's like it's basically like a virtual realm, like you bought a festival ticket, right? So it's actually gonna be really cool. I'm pretty excited. So link is in the description for that. I wish you the best, Austin. There's not much money in this community. Invest wisely. Yeah, I'm not like it. you are correct, and because I have to pay lots of money for things, and I've had to figure a lot of stuff out. That's why I haven't been streaming much, because you are absolutely correct. But dude, the health thing is gonna be dope. We're like the community fasts and detoxes, and it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. I figured a lot of stuff out with that. Yeah. But anyway, so we don't have to keep talking about that right now. I'll explain a little bit more to you, but I'll just say, and I don't know how much more I will say. I think, it's because so VIP, there's only a certain amount of them. There's only a certain amount of seats, um, for the summit. So I don't know, you know, I went back and forth on this, but I think I really do need people to show up, and go to the summit. So I went back and forth on this, but I'm just gonna offer an obnoxious amount of stuff. Basically, you can just take my word for it. If you get a VIP ticket to the summit through the link, so it's like etherecsummit.com/tickets, or even if you go to etherecsummit.com, although I hate the main page more, it's totally glitched out. Get a ticket through there. Just know you're gonna get lots of free stuff from me, lots of free access to the community and stuff I'm about to launch, and blah blah blah. Trust me, or don't. It's gonna be dope. All right, now I know there's probably maybe some people that drop some questions. I put the Q&A. If you have any questions, right, quit lying about TFE, you grifter. What's up now? It's again, do you not know what grifting means? Grifting is making money saying something you don't actually believe in. Where is anyone doing that? And I didn't lie about TFE at all. It's just so sad, though. I talked to Alec a bit about it in the podcast I did with him. I don't know if you guys have checked that out, but The Way Forward on YouTube, Alex Zek, we did a past podcast. How come you guys are okay with 24-hour sun footage? We literally have over a terabyte, 30 consecutive hour HD 360-degree interactive video of the sun and multiple videos of it. So what everyone did was they moved the goalpost to there's not even a 24 consecutive hour live stream, where when we were going there, we didn't even know if we'd be able to have internet at all. We didn't know if we were going to be able to stream at all. We didn't know if we were going to have internet at all, right? And we went out away from the camp, set up Starlink, and it worked. And then we tried to immediately set up the phone to do a 24-hour live stream, and it crashed. It was well known that we didn't even think we'd be able to have internet, certainly not reliable internet, and that we most likely would not be able to even stream to do any live streams. And we get down there and we're able to frequently live stream. Different people are able to live stream. We try to literally show you a 24-hour consecutive live stream of the sun. We're able to actively keep everyone involved, the whole process. And then everyone just starts lying and pretending like they said they wanted a 24-hour live stream the whole time. It's just it's so stupid. It's all so stupid. I unsubbed a long time ago. Then why are you a mod? You're not a mod, bro. Justin Johnson, you're out of here, buddy. I saw you earlier, and I was like, I'll let him still be a mod, even though I've seen him slander me so much. But you're in here still doing it, so it's like. For In the Field series, do you have anyone in mind to interview? Dr. Mike Heffron would be cool. I'll try to remember that. I think I have a section on my Telegram group in the field suggestions, and people ruin everything to go in there and start arguing with each other about other stuff. But I can host 1,000 Zoom webinar for pretty cheap. People's time costs money. I wouldn't settle for anything less than $50 an hour, so don't get scared about the price. I'm not sure what you're saying, brother. we have we got a whole bunch of awesome speakers, and how do you think that you're able to do that? You're able to, you pay them, and then the ticket sales, they get like cuts of all the ticket sales. So it is cool though. If anyone's ever been to the summits, it's super cool, and it's like a very uplifting thing. This one is going to be awesome because people are tailoring a lot of their presentations for the the general theme, like this world is not what you think it is. It's interesting. It's funny, right? Because it's like you got the B.O.B. song, like this world is not what you think it is. Uh, so yeah, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. If you can actually go check out some of the presentations and the titles and descriptions. But we got Amanda Fulmer, Dr. Andy Kaufman, Dr. Tom Cowan. We got David Avocado Wolf. We got like tons of legends giving presentations. We got Greg Reese from InfoWars. It's going to be dope. What's it? Oh, man, you guys are such haters. What I do know is I need to find a moderator for the debates. What actually would be kind of funny is like Dave Weiss. I think it's gonna be kind of funny. And then we thought about Alex Stein would be kind of funny. Owen Benjamin would be kind of funny. I don't know if you guys have suggestions for that. If you want to throw in the chat, when is the debate? Saturday night, but it's part of the summit. You got to go to the summit to see it. Alex Stein would be great. Maybe not Owen. I'll moderate. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. Sacred for moderator. That's not a terrible idea. I do want someone to be on camera though. Respectfully, anyone but Owen. I'm down, dude. You were just slandering me, and you're telling me you're down. Dave Weiss for sure. I think that would be funny. That was actually not even my idea. Prove real evidence he lied. Just he won't. He can't. He lies. You gotta be like, you have to really lack integrity to just incessantly and obsessively slander someone for months and months, knowing deep down, that you don't actually know that I lied about anything because I didn't. You just are pushing that narrative because it makes you more comfortable. And you're uncomfortable with the fact that I objectively went to Antarctica and saw the sun do a circle around me. And so you have no integrity, you have no moral standards, you seemingly don't seem to think the creator holds people accountable for stuff like that, and you're just lying. So I just typically ignore people like that though, because you see how to even like address someone with such deplorable behavior, you have to like get into a lower vibration. Although I will check the questions, and it's funny because these people run around and say all this stuff about me. I'm like, yo, I literally, I said, anybody that's got something to say, all these people that have been talking, I'm going to open up the lines and let you people come on. And then, we got like crickets. These people are just keyboard warriors. West Blazer, Sean Griffin. That's not a terrible idea. I'll ask Sean. Super last minute, obviously, but what is Eric's views on Eric Dubay or Austin's views? Well, I'm not particularly fond of the fact that he put out a video and just slandered me and claimed that we tried to basically cast one of the biggest deceptions on mankind ever. But I know people that know him, and really he just put other people's stuff together and didn't actually do good research. Half those videos were literally deceptively edited. So many people that were flat earthers were just literally lying. Like, it was disgusting, but if you pay close attention, I've never really said anything bad about him. So I try not to start to engage in beef a lot. I try to take the high road the best I can. Did Austin ever make that Candace Owens appearance as an interviewee? I did not, no, which was part of the plan. Very annoying. I think supposedly still a possibility. I actually recently was talking to Mark. Supposedly still may happen. She did recently have a baby. Obviously, a lot of stuff got delayed. I don't know what they're thinking in relation to that documentary. So I saw someone ask like, when is that coming out? I have no idea. I was originally in the trailer. I was actually the final person in the trailer. I said something about, look, just so you know, if this is presented as like 100% definitive proof, and it was like this final experiment, and it definitively proved all these things, and like our side is not properly represented, then I won't be in it. And obviously they did. I guess Will didn't like that, and had him take me out of the trailer. So, because if you were keeping up with all that, they can't use me without my permission. So I have to approve whatever use of me they have. I think McToon made the fake vape bid to trap someone. LL, he would do that kind of thing. There's still flat earthers like pretending that's real, though. Just so funny. Do the research, people. It's been exposed. The cat's out of the bag. God gave you discernment for a reason. Well, apparently he didn't give you the ability to use basic grammar, but yeah, I've seen you around, and you were one of the main ones. Just I wonder what to think about this. This guy, when I got back from the trip and this all started first happening, he was one of the main people that were repeating every single one of the lies that were definitive proof that we lied and we faked it, and it was like stuff, deceptively edited videos like that were literally fake, claims that you don't ever see the breath. And then we found out, oh, all the live streams there, we see people's breath every time they get in the shade. You see it all the time, blah, blah, blah. Like all the stuff was debunked slowly. And this is the same guy who swore up and down it was definitively proven like right after we got back. And instead of doubling back and being like, oh, look, so maybe like when I was making that claim, turns out that isn't true. Just like a bunch of the anti-flat earthers or the Glovers or whatever, they never come and correct the record. They never say, okay, I was saying this, it turns out it wasn't true. They don't make it right. And that's the number one tell. That's all you need to know, that you can completely dismiss someone. You can't trust them. That's how I feel. People do it all the time. Like they want to believe a certain thing. They want to push a certain narrative, and they'll just jump on anything they can to try to claim that that's the case and slander someone else, whatever it is. When information comes to light that proves it's not true, if you actually have honor and integrity, you then make it a point to correct the record and say, but these people don't do that. So I'm not going to actually get too much more energy into this, like really low vibrate. Like if you think the trip was faked, if you think that it didn't really happen, if you think we were part of some like it's so crazy. This is what I had to step away, because people painting this narrative like we were paid off and we're taken care of and us not the same person and all this like schizophrenic stuff and just like unfounded nonsense and all this slander, and I got attacked by everybody. I'm the one who came back and held it down, and I kept it OG and held it down, right? Got attacked, slandered, and they're acting like we got paid off and taken care of. If you guys knew the truth, how the exact opposite happened, that place, that entire thing just like was terrible for me financially, like wrecked me financially, that like the last few months have been wild. And it's just I guess a good positive way to wrap that whole thing up, just so you guys know, is I really had to get to where because I say this a lot, I thought I really believed it, and it got tested at times during this. You have to you have to really take comfort in knowing that like the creator knows the truth. Like the creator knows the truth, you know the truth. And that you have to, I'm trying to think of how to say this, right? Like you have to be able to come to grips with this idea that no one else may ever know, that people will still always lie about you, and it doesn't matter, right? It's like the creator knows, you know, no one will ever know really what I went through the last however many months. No one will ever know. And it's like, whatever, I don't care, bro. All right. Let me go over here. Questions. All right. Any helps for helping with closure for people who can acknowledge there was a lot of anomalies in TFE and are not convinced? Dude, I did a whole debate. We talked all about it. Like, I answered all the questions. I got in Discord for hours and hours and hours, back to back to back to back days. So, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll do a stream where we talk about it all again, and I'll let people come on and say their thing and answer questions and stuff. But I mean, maybe I'll do that one more time. Yeah. But I realize that it actually doesn't matter, that there's like a bunch of people that are being really emotional and have a lot of bias and aren't being honest and they're just lying. Where I went to Discord and sat there for hours just being peppered with questions and people lining up, like interrogating me like I did something wrong, like interrogating me like I'm on a hot seat, and like just getting crazy in terms of like my personal life, my family, all this stuff, right? There's full-fledged attack constantly. I went through it for hours and hours and hours, back to back to back to back to back to back to back days, like was barely sleeping, that's coming off not really sleeping at all. And I realized, why am I doing this? These same people are coming back the next day, pretending I never had the conversation, still lying, slandering, taking stuff out of context. So I was like, no, these are the kind of people that just are liars. And so I don't care. I'm not going to, what am I going to do with these people? It was actually awesome that they exposed their true colors, right? Like, I'm trying to think of a few examples. Like, there's so many. There's so many. Basically, every one of the claims, every one of the gates, and they just kept saying it. Like, for example, there's this, I said, I objectively did not hit a vape, go over to the camera, and then exhale to fake my breath. And what did these truthers do, right? They took it out where I said, I objectively did not hit a vape. They took that clip out. And that's, to this day, they're running around saying, you denied ever hitting a vape until we caught you on camera. That is not true at all, bro. I jumped in Discord. The first time Geo asked me, did you have a vape on the trip? I said, yeah. Like, never lied about it, not even for a second. Right? And I said, I objectively did not hit a vape and then walk over to the camera and exhale it to try to fake my breath. They took the first part out to then go make the claim that I lied, saying I never hit the vape, and I only admitted I hit a vape once they caught it on camera. And they're still saying that to this day, going around claiming I lied, when it's all documented. It was on Earth Awakenings and recorded, right? I go in there. We got here and went out of town for a holiday immediately. While I was in Tennessee, I actually jumped in Discord trying to answer questions real quick. And just because people were freaking out, even though I obviously had the right to chill with my family for a little bit after I had just done all that, I still jumped in there, just trying to help the community, trying to answer, trying to keep everyone calm. And Geo, he asked me actually then, like that soon, he asked me about, did you have a vape? And I was like, yeah, I did. So that's just one example. And there's probably people, I'm not reading the live chat right now, probably people they'll still just repeat that I did that. So I realized I had such a view of it at one point, right, where it was like, wow, dude, look at these anti-flat earthers. Look how they do stuff like that all the time. Intentionally take me out of context and just lie, and then just continually repeat it and misrepresent. No matter how many times I talk to them, blue in the face, and repeat the answer and the truth and correct the lie and call it out over and over and over and over in writing, type things up, go on different interviews, different shows, different Discords, different spaces, answer the questions over and over and over, provide receipts. Okay, let's pull up the video and watch it. Don't pause it. We'll prove it, etc. I go in there, just interrupt me so they can try to censor me, so they can tell the lie to the audience and not let them hear me say the actual truth. Like, I saw that side do it, and I was just in such disbelief. I'm like, this is such a terrible group of people. And I'm like, this is, if someone thinks the official mainstream model of the earth is true, then to obsessively stalk and sadistically attack a group of people that don't think that's the case is obviously very weird. And so you're dealing with a very fringe, weird, like, dangerous group of people, honestly, like psychologically dangerous. And so I was just in disbelief of this behavior. They do it all the time. I'm like, oh, word salad. And Austin says nothing that makes sense. And they just constantly spam lies and say I have no job and that I don't work and I don't do all these things, right? I realized after the trip that exact same behavior, there are a lot of flat earthers that do the exact same thing when, in this example, this situation, something they didn't want it to be true. They didn't want me to go down there and have actually seen the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. That they don't want it. They don't believe it. They have a bias. They think they know it can't happen. And then what they're all doing as well, they're all lying, saying, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. I don't care. I just don't believe. That's a lie. You would never slander me the way that you are and deny all the evidence and turn your head to all the evidence and keep repeating all the lies that you do if you didn't care and it made no difference to you at all. And what they effectively did was the biggest disservice for flat earth ever, which is other people were looking like, whoa, the flat earthers are freaking out, saying it didn't even happen because it totally destroys flat earth and they have to act like it didn't even happen. And it doesn't destroy flat earth. You guys did more to hurt flat earth than the trip ever could do. Objectively, it's not even close. To the point that exact point is made on Joe Rogan about the trip. And now the flat earthers are freaking out. They're claiming the trip didn't happen and that it was all faked and that they actually went to the Sphere in Vegas, right? You guys did that and you're still doing it. So it's like, I'm like, whoa, I don't want anything. I don't care about any of this. Because, like, dude, what if you found out that the earth isn't what they said? That you're not automatically cool in my book. That isn't how that works. You know what I'm saying? It's just not how it works. So there's my little rant on that. And if you're being honest, imagine being in my position. People doing stuff like that, or like they took a video and then they deceptively cut it off and put it by a totally different time of a video to act like they were back to back to claim that it happened during my stream and I had hit off camera. That got shared with hundreds of thousands of views. Everyone was sharing it and it was a complete lie. And then when I pointed out it was a lie, and you can literally just pull up the video and show that it was a lie, deceptively edited. First of all, who does that? You're just a liar. I bet a Glober probably did it. There were flat earthers that just kept sharing it anyway because they had already publicly said it, and they were getting more views and engagement than normal by quote unquote exposing me. So I just realized, like, there's so many people that's just, they're lame. They're like, they were just like the Justin Johnson guy in the chat. I shouldn't even say his name because he's just irrelevant. How's the family doing? Good. Are you still going on Candace Owens' show? Supposedly, but it's just like not a scheduled thing at all. How could you explain the Seymour thing concavers love using? It shows a double pyramid. I would love to know your thoughts. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. Okay, so you just asked the question about the TFA thing again. I gave you a pretty long answer, honestly. Do you know anything about the old star charts? Did the pole star really shift, or was this made up? I don't think it really shifted, no. From what my understanding, that is made up. If we can't make it to the summit live, will replay be available? Yes. If you purchase a ticket, you will get replay forever, and it'll immediately be available. So say you were working, you got off in the middle of it. When you went in there, you would see, oh, there's Kaufman's, there's Amanda's, there's whoever, and now, Dr. Tom Cowan's going live, and you would see the one that's live. You can go click in that session, or you could go watch the ones. Say what you didn't want to watch one of the speakers, one of the other ones would be posted. It's going to be very neat, and they're all live and then immediately posted. We put a little buffer at the end of each one, so there'll be Q&A for each speaker. We put a little buffer zone between each one, and what you'll do after one presentation's done, you just go click on the other session if you want to go listen to the other one. So you get to go where you want to, when you want to. It's going to be pretty cool. But yes, you get access to the replays, of course. Do you have plans to join Globebusters? They need a new tech guy. Yeah, maybe. I just have so much going on. I may break a lot more down about what's going on and it has been going on with me at some point, but you know. For In the Field series, do you have anyone in mind to interview? Yeah, I already addressed that. Happy to your last question. No, it's complete BS. Even what everyone is saying about it isn't true. Oh, but sometimes you just got to take stuff for the team. This seems to be my life story. I give him credit. He taught me most of what I know. But then I'm going to completely slander him and attack him and claim that he lied about everything ever. And he tried to pull off one of the biggest deceptions in mankind history to help hide the very thing that he sacrificed almost everything to expose. Just think about it's just crazy. I guess I cannot even fathom being someone like you. I'm worried Jerry's going to prepare a lot for the debate. I'm sure he is, and I haven't at all. Alex Jones is and had always been controlled opposition. Don't give this guy your money. Okay. You're not giving it to me anyway. You're supporting all the speakers that are speaking. All the speakers are getting paid. I mean, I'm just hoping I don't have to pay them out of pocket, and then they get a cut of all of whatever is sold as well. I will repeat though, you'll get a free copy if you purchase through like etheric.summit.com/tickets, the link in the description, or just the main like etheric.summit.com. If you purchase through those links and not one of the speakers links, then what I will give you a free copy of my book. VIPs get a free copy of my etheric book, and then you'll get access to like the full free month of the like health and community. I think I can set the name of it. It's Ever Fasting, so it's like a play on everlasting, so about longevity and stuff like that and fasting. Ever Fasting community, which is going to be super dope because we're going to have like group like detoxes, liver cleanses, fasting, community fasts, all kinds of resources, video calls. It's going to be awesome, honestly. To really help people like I want to be able to inspire people like, look, you've probably talked about it a lot, said, okay, this is when I'm going to get clean. This is when I'm going to change my life. This is when I'm going to get healthy. This is when I'm going to get in shape. And I want to create something that actually inspires people to do it. Because within the truther community, I see oftentimes people neglect that aspect of it. And yeah, I want to try to help people. That's the honest truth. But anyway, free full first month access to that. And that will be up and running in the latest in July. And it should be pretty much ready here soon though. So maybe sooner than that. But it'll be with the email, and I just want to make sure everyone understands, with the email that you sign up with Zoom. That's how that I have to track it. I'll send it out to you where you can sign up through the actual my actual website. You'll create a login, and that's how you'll get access to all the stuff I'll give you. And then also we're gonna have like a tax freedom academy kind of little course as well, which is super cool. And I'll just give you guys some of the inside scoop on some of that. That's all we'll say right now. You have to be pretty careful with that one. But yeah, I'll give you free access to that the first little like webinar course thing. So I honestly can't believe I'm doing all that. I don't think like if you guys will see in hindsight, like that's crazy that I'm doing that, but yeah, it's all good. I'm just gonna hook the VIPs up. Did you say your book will be an audiobook? I said an ebook, but I'm pretty sure I could. I'm not gonna, I don't know, it'll be shorter, so maybe I will read it out loud. That'd be cool. Is that what you do? You read it? Maybe I'll do that. but it's going to be an ebook for sure. But maybe I can read it because I want it to be like really quick reads. I want it to be just like, it's going to be like a maybe 5-book series. I want it to be pretty quick. I don't want it to be like this really overwhelming thing. I may at one point write like a really big thing, but I don't know. Again, someone doesn't know what the word grifting means. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how many haters there are. It's like, dude, after months and months and for years and years on the internet, I've seen some of these names for years and years on the internet. It's like, are you always miserable? You ever look back and be like, dude, have I really been miserable and negative this long in my life? I can't imagine ever going on someone else's like YouTube and like pulling my phone out or getting on my keyboard and like typing in their chat trash about them sitting there while they talk on camera for hours and just saying, and then doing that for years. That is so wild to me. It's like, you got to be sick or something. Deflecting from what? I didn't deflect from anything. There's baseless accusations. I'm a grifter. I'm like, I've already addressed that 4 times. So I actually didn't deflect. I've addressed it 4 times. Grifting means you're lying about something to try to make money. It's like swindling. You're lying to someone. You're saying something that you don't actually believe in so you can get money. What am I doing that with? I have gotten epic speakers all together, doctors, just absolute legends. I've managed to get them all together, back to back to back to back to back presentations, 2 days in a row. Awesome musicians, truther musicians to come all together, pulled off me and Jaron debating at the end of it, right? All these awesome legendary speakers to all come and give like high quality professional presentations specific to the topic. And I had to pay all the speakers to get them to do that. You literally cannot pull something like that off unless there are tickets to the event that you can then pay them with. And this is maybe like 3rd grade. At what point in time has anything to do with that me doing or saying something I don't really believe in to make money? It's like people don't even know what words mean nowadays. It's getting crazy. They love to be hating. I know it's because they just honestly just because they're miserable and they don't really have anything. Ever trust an Albanian? What? All right, so I'm gonna play a song. We don't need to pray for them because I need to grab my computer because there's a bunch of stuff on there, and I'm not gonna stay too much longer, dude. Oh my gosh, sorry, almost 12:30. Because I gotta do so much stuff to keep putting all that together. To be honest, I've been like working around the clock on that, so I don't even know if I'm gonna sleep. So crazy. They will never stop. I think you should also branch out to different topics. Yeah, I shouldn't even like address them, to be honest. I am gonna talk about other topics. So you're putting this on? I'm gonna get a ticket just for support. Great cast of people you have coming. Nice. Yes, I am putting it on. Yep. And I may make another update where people can pay with like crypto. That's not a thing right now, and it's just I don't know. So much has been going on, man. I'll tell you guys another time. All right, I'm gonna play a song, and I'm gonna come back. So there will be a brief intermission. I just need to go. I'm gonna grab a drink and grab my laptop real quick. I may like quickly use the bathroom too while I do it. So I'll be right back. And then I'll show you guys like kind of I'll show you guys the event and stuff like that. Then I gotta go and like work. I don't know if I'm gonna sleep. Pretty crazy. All right. Be right back.
That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature that mean extorted it. They forging it. If news anchors informant to informing them there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we port in ships, important gifts. Of course it is, what extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks. We ignoring which informant disinforming this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers actors say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real?
In a world. All right. Yo, I just saw someone suggest Andrew Wilson. That's actually a good idea. Andrew Wilson, the Crucible. I'll reach out to him. Maybe he can do it. He's a good moderator. And then maybe we'll do Weiss, a few different options. So if you have a suggestion, you can message me on Telegram with suggestions for moderators for me and Jaren's debate. That's Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern, as kind of the finale of the first night of the summit. So, and people were asking for that to happen, and I pulled it off. So let me address a few things I did read. Austin, you were pretty ugly when people were just asking questions. That is objectively not even remotely close to true. This is what actually happened. Because then someone else in the chat just said, truth doesn't fear investigation, because I always say that. That's exactly right. That's why I went on the trip. That's why I reported back honestly. It doesn't fear investigation. Someone said, why are some people saying TFE is not true? Because they don't want it to be true. That's why. That is literally why. And some of them even lack the self-awareness to realize that's why they're doing it. A lot of them know deep down that they just feel like it can't be true because they can't be wrong about something. But what actually happened was I was completely exhausted. I was already getting super attacked before I even got back. So I was away from my family and my daughters and my wife for like 11, 12 days. Exhausted. Didn't sleep like at all. Right? Spent tons of money I don't have. Lost tons of money. Just like financially wrecked me. Come back being attacked and accused of like the most heinous thing ever. To go there and tactically set that up to deceive the world about one of the biggest lies ever cast onto mankind. Like just selling my soul to lie to the world is what people are accusing me of, right? For a community that I went around, a bunch of people I don't like, I don't trust, that have slandered me for years. I went around them, right? Them kind of finessing us the whole time. Go do all that. You know, we're talking like dozens of hours of flying, like a whole thing, right? Anyway, come back, then immediately have to travel again, go see my family for the holiday. Even while I'm there, you said it. You were really looking at people just want to ask questions. It's just so not true at all. What I did was very calmly and patiently. I'd already been slandered a ton before I even got back. They were already selling all kinds of lies, talking about how it's fake, all this stuff. I went into Discord and Earth Awakenings, where I always go, where I'm always accessible, repeatedly. And I would sit in there for hours, for many days in a row, hours and hours, sit there. And people would line up to attack me, cuss me out, slander me, just repeat the same lies over and over. And then I patiently answered the same questions over and over. People would be like, "Oh, we caught it being fake in this video." I knew it wasn't fake, obviously. I was there. I would then sit there and go through videos with people. I would answer everyone's question. I would share my screen and show everything I had and show all the evidence. Answer all kinds of questions, even personal questions, anything anyone wanted to know. I was just constantly, and like the person that said it right now is just busy typing in the chat. This is what I'm saying. Doesn't actually care about the truth, even with the accusation that they said. This is kind of the point that eventually I had to get to the point where I realized I'm being stupid by giving these people my energy, people that just are bad faith, only have bad intentions, completely lack the humility and integrity to admit if they were wrong, are only interested in negativity, toxicity, slandering, etc. Right? I did this over and over, day after day after day, for hours and hours and hours. People spamming me on Telegram and in emails. I'm typing up big, long, extensive answers to everyone's questions, same questions over and over. Accusatory. People like, we're just asking questions. No. Asking questions are like, okay, so what about this? And then getting the answer. Calling people a liar and accusing them of stuff and then just repeating it over and over despite the answers. That's not just asking questions, okay? Saying that you know stuff was fake and that these people, that you're lying and all this, that's not asking questions. And I very calmly and patiently answered the questions for like over a week and a half, 2 weeks, hours and hours, nonstop. I was literally accessible to anyone and everyone that came in there, and they lined up as if I worked for them and I was an employee, and I had to answer. I had to take any personal attack that they wanted to say about me. People that would never talk to me like this in real life, have done nothing, most of which were anonymous, get to come in there and pretend that they have some type of position to just talk down to me, right? And I sit there and just take it, answer all the questions. I did that for a super long time, over and over and over. And then I did streams and I went through all of it and I answered all kinds of questions. I ended up getting upset in one of the streams I did, like getting frustrated with all the lies in the chat. Then after that, I did a debate about whether or not I really went to where I objectively really went, a trip that just objectively really happened. I debated someone about it and then sat there and went through all it. And all of his lies, his whole list, were debunked one after another. And instead of admitting, okay, there's a reoccurring theme here, I have a whole website we've been running around for like 2 weeks now claiming we proved it was fake. And now all of these things are being proven untrue. Maybe I was wrong. No, just breeze past it to the next one, breeze past it to the next one, breeze past it to the next lie and to the next slander. Exactly what the Globers and anti-flat earthers have done to me in my debates for years. Did a whole debate, continued to answer the questions, continued to go on Discord answering the questions. I mean, in like entire events where people were presenting how it was fake, and then I'd go and answer all their questions. That's what actually happened. Okay? That's what actually happened. And I realized that there's just a group of people, like, for one, when you're anonymous, you can just lie. You have no accountability. You don't have to stand behind what you say. And then there's just a group of people, many of which that I thought had my back or whatever, that I just realized are not good. They're just bad people. They're just dishonest. They don't have integrity. They have no like, moral standard, right? No moral compass. So yeah, that's what it is. And at one point I'm like, okay, well, this has only cost me a ton of money. It's put me in a terrible financial situation. It's put me in tons of stress. I actually got like sick. I've had no sleep. And I did that for a group of people that are now attacking me around the clock. And what did I do? I came back where the whole world's ready to make fun of us and all that. And I didn't flip. I didn't take the easy way out. I stood there, I held it down, and then there are people they're still just attacked. So my point is, I just got to the point where I'm like, okay, this is obviously the financial situation got so out of hand. It still is, where it's like I had to focus on other things just to survive, literally to try to survive and to just like make it and survive. That's what actually happened. And I'm like, bro, I know the truth. There's a group of people that know they can see the truth. I mean, if you have basic pattern recognition and you're just honest, you know the truth. If you actually looked into it, all the claim they wanted me to do their work for them. They were just making tons of accusations, and when I would prove them wrong, doing their work for them, they would just move on to the next lie. So it's like, okay, you're kind of like a child that had their toy taken away, and you had a model and a belief in your mind, and then the son didn't do what your model called for, so you just threw a little fit, started attacking people, and bit the other little kid or hit him and ran off, and went and gossiped and told a bunch of stories about them because you don't like what the truth is. So you're right, truth doesn't fear investigation. That's what my actions demonstrated. What doesn't demonstrate that is going as far as to incessantly and obsessively slander someone, attack them, like even their family, and try and put them in danger. And by the way, I had accounts attacked. I had all kinds of crazy stuff happen. You guys have no idea. You guys have no idea what I've gone through over the last few months behind the scenes. You guys have no idea. And so this is the thing. I'm over it. I just had to realize, like, yo, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated, right? Like, I don't have to let you people talk down to me. In what world does some random anonymous loser on the internet get to talk down to me like I'm beneath them and they run me and they own me and I owe them something and I have to always earn their approval? And in what world? And I realized a community that I sacrificed so much for, to the point that I put my business on pause, ended up basically just losing it, emptied out my big accounts, emptied out all my crypto, traveled around the whole US during the pandemic shutdown, right? The lockdowns. And I traveled the whole US for over a year, funding all of it out of pocket, well over 6 figures over the course of the year, and went out for hours and hours doing activism in the streets, being assaulted many times, got arrested for not speaking in the free speech zones a couple different times, just for hours. Chris and I went out there like tugging around giant speakers and all kinds of equipment, and like literally being pounced on and attacked and assaulted regularly, being harassed by cops regularly just because we were speaking about flat earth and we were speaking out against the pandemic and the lockdowns and obviously like, the poison that they were rushing out. And I did all of that. And then, I turned down a job offer at the beginning of all this because they wanted me to stop talking about FE publicly. I turned it down. And I just realized, dude, these people will turn on you in a heartbeat. So I'm like, it's actually very unwise of me. It's foolish of me to like placate them or to make decisions assuming loyalty from, it's like there is a group of people that were real ones that have my back. But there was just a lot of people that don't. And it's like, that's fine. You don't have to have my back, but I don't have to respect you. I don't have to do anything that you ask me. Now, that's the truth of what happened. Whatever you say, whatever narrative you spin outside of that, it's just a lie. You're just coping and you're a liar. So it's like, I don't care. So I would much rather go the route I've decided to, which I was deciding, do I even want to keep doing content or not? I don't know. Obviously, talking about a bunch of these topics publicly, it basically eliminates the possibility of you. It makes it almost impossible, really difficult to get any really high-paying job that requires any type of like public image or anything like that. And like what I would be best at, right, is a sales representative job. But a company's not going to want you to represent. If they Google you and they see nothing but flat Earth and all this stuff, right? So you've actually made a lifelong sacrifice for the truth. And there are people that won't even show their name and face in like chats. They're anon completely, so they can just slander and attack and act tough and be ugly. And then there are people that have had bank accounts shut down, kicked off of payment processing and Venmo and PayPal, kicked off of Airbnb, get their accounts hacked, doxxed, you name it. Like jeopardize all kind of professional future because they're trying to expose lies and say the truth. And then there's a group of people that like turn on them in a heartbeat because the sun did something they didn't want it to. It's super lame, super weird. So to end that little rant there, my point is like, I forgive you. It's whatever. I'm just like, to me, that's something I don't resonate with at all. Like being like that emotional and lame and having like that little of integrity. I don't resonate with it. I find it very weird. I think that realistically, if I saw most of you in person, the people that are doing that, you would stutter and look down and get real nervous and change up and do a 180. You wouldn't be able to keep that same energy at all. I think that's the truth. And so I realized, like, what do I do? Well, I did decide to keep making content, but I'm going to go the route of I'm going to talk about all kinds of different things I think are important. And my motivations are to stand up for children that are being lied to and preyed upon, taken advantage of, being jabbed with all kinds of poisons from like birth, and they're being now sexualized and they're being confused about all kinds of things. So like the onslaught of attack on our children, and there's all kinds of abortion and stuff like that. I'm very passionate about that, and they're also having their mind warped at a young age and told that they're insignificant and they came from rocks and monkeys and live on a tiny speck of dust in this ever expanding universe of nothingness, and their insignificance, random happenstance, and there is no purpose. And that's just objectively wrong. And you can like disprove that with natural law itself from within the confinements of the philosophy of naturalism. I know that was a lot, but I'm getting tired, so it's going to start being fast. We're going to wrap this up, but anyway, there are a bunch of topics that I'm passionate about, and we have an issue. We have an issue with Zionism. We have an issue with Jewish supremacy. We have an issue. We have issues that need to be talked about. That I'm going to use, whatever gifts and aptitudes I do have to convey information to speak about those things. So I'm going to still use my platform and speak about things I feel led to, and also I feel led to. I prayed about it. I asked for guidance. I asked for signs, and like I am supposed to still have an online presence and make content. So that's what we do. And this is also what's so interesting about the whole thing is I really didn't want to make content. Like I had to be talked into it. Bob talked me into it, and I didn't want to do it. But here we are. So thank you for at least streaming tonight on behalf of We Appreciate You. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. Actually, I'm pretty tired. I gotta stay up. I'm gonna drink coffee, I guess. I don't know. I gotta finish setting up a lot of the stuff for the summit, but I'll show you guys real quick, like the website. And this is something I'll say one more thing. It's like it's been months now. I've answered it every stream it comes up. I answer it all the time. We're talking a combined 50 plus hours after that trip did I go in Discord and just sit there and allow people to line up and pepper me with every question they could come up with about that trip. And then you have someone come in here 6 months later and say, truth doesn't interfere investigation. You wouldn't even answer questions. You just got super mad anytime any you asked anything. You're just lying. You may be ignorant, so maybe you're not lying in terms of intention, but you should probably inform yourself before saying things with such conviction 6 months later. It's like, or how do you explain the footprints? It's been 6 months. Have you not even researched it? Did you fix your breath with the vape? It's been 6 months. Have you not actually researched it? Have you not fully researched that? It's very easy to prove I didn't. That you see my breath in other videos, right? You lied about even having a vape. That's very easy to verify that isn't true as well. It's like if 6 months later you're still repeating those lies, you still haven't been able to figure out, oh, we definitely went there, then I'm like, do you, brother? You know what I'm saying? I don't. It's just even all of this, in my opinion, it's like sucked the life out of the stream. That's what it did. And you guys like it. You guys live over in this lower vibration. And I encourage you to step out of it, man. Step out of it. But I'm definitely not going to allow that to like control my life and it just makes no sense. And if you watch one of my recent streams, when you lie, just so you guys know, and you may have health issues and you think they're unrelated, maybe you are really groggy and are always really tired, or you have some type of serious health issues you've been diagnosed with, and the doctor's telling you have this, and this wrong, dude, you obsessively lying and being toxic and looking for fights on the internet and constantly attacking someone, slandering people, things that you know deep down, you don't actually know these things to be true because they are objectively not true. You cannot know them to be true, and you know it deep down, right? But if you, I'm just saying, if you doing that kind of stuff to people, like having bad intentions and being deceptive and stuff like that, like you're gonna get sick. So wouldn't you rather like try to be wise and selfless and loving and try to help other people out and try to have good intentions, do some fasting and try and eat healthy and take care of yourself so you can be here for people that you love longer. Try and see the positive in life, try to make a positive impact on the life, on the world, trying to, like, stand up for this younger generation that's getting kind of fed to this, like, Zionist crafted, beast that is modern America and the modern world, and, like, no, you'd rather actually just sit over here and, like, cry about, like, negative little drama on the internet and slander, and it's very weird, but, you know, I want nothing to do with that. I find it very lame. That's the truth. Alright. Let me show you. Boom. All right. Etheric Summit. And it is almost here. Just a day and a half. And you got the VIP and the general. So you can click any of these buttons. They all go to the same place. You just go here. And then you can register with a regular email or with your Zoom account. You can pick which one you want. You have the speakers. And you can actually then go see. I think maybe it'll take it. This will show it to you. Yeah. So here you have the different sessions and the presentations and stuff like that. I have to kind of polish some of this and get everything finished and ready. But then when it opens up, you'll be able to jump up in the lobby. There'll be all kinds of rooms. There's like once you actually sign up and register, there's a lobby where you can talk to everyone else that's part of the summit. VIP, obviously, like they get access to this and this and this, etc. So, uh, yeah. So, pretty cool. Thericsummit.com/tickets. Links is in the description. And cool, man. That is coming up. So, I need to go. So, I love you guys. I'll try to stream again tomorrow night. But yeah, I mean, the long-awaited debate, and people will complain about it, right? But we made the debate happen, and if you have to wait like a couple weeks or 3 weeks or whatever to actually see it, if you don't want to go to the summit or whatever, it's going to happen. You've had to wait a long time. I didn't even necessarily want to do it, but we are. I'm debating Jaron about the Earth, and so there you go. Maybe Dave Weiss, maybe Andrew Wilson. I don't know. We'll have someone that'll be a good moderator. I think it'll be like an hour and a half, maybe 2-hour debate. There'll be some questions and answers as well. And then there'll be a little after party for the VIPs there. We'll discuss it. And I'll throw a poll up in the summit if people want Jaron to hang out in the after party or not. I don't know. But all right, cool. I'm really tired. I definitely encourage people to go. I will say one more time. If you get tickets, I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to hook up both VIP and general. Like VIP, I'm going to give you free 1 month access to it's going to come with tons of resources and all kinds of stuff for our little like health group, right? So it's like community fasting and detoxing, all this stuff. It's going to be dope. We're going to have video calls. We're going to hold each other accountable and do like liver cleanses together and all this stuff. I'm really excited about that. I encourage people to check it out. Ever fasting, that'll launch pretty soon. It's just crazy I'm doing that, but you'll get to get access to it for free for a month. And then there's like a lot of resources, you'll either get it for free or like a really big discount or whatever. So there's that. And then there is like a tax freedom. So yeah, having it all laid out for you exactly how you don't have to don't have to pay things that people seem to think that they do have to pay factually with receipts, proof that you don't, proof the right way to do it, where there's nothing to worry about. You don't have to be scared or anything. 100% legit. And yeah, if you get tickets, I'll hook you up and help get you into that as well. So there you go. I don't know what else I can offer. I've thought of a few different things. I'll probably I said I'll give the first copy of Etheric, of the series that I'm gonna write. It'll be like a 5-part series, but I'll give the first one away if people go to VIP. But I I will think of a few other things to hook people up with. And I may announce something tomorrow, like at the next event, people will get 50%. I don't know. I don't know. Um, so we'll see. I'm definitely gonna hook people up though. All right, cool. I love you guys. I gotta so much to do. This is like a much more like it'll be a much more enjoyable, like professional, like very neat experience. It's be way better. It's also got like a ton more to do in different portions and aspects. It's like a ton. And it's like basically all just on me. So I gotta go. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. Um, cool. All right. Oh, I don't want to miss. I think there might have been some super chats. You know, it's funny. I bet if you guys like watch my energy at the beginning and towards the end, if you compare them, it's like probably noticeably different. Um, that's why I'm just gonna go back to like I'm not really gonna engage with that. I don't see it. It should be really easy for people to see like, oh, I see why he would. It just sucks. They just try to suck the energy out of him, and they think it's like mission accomplished if he ever gets worked up or upset. Like it should be pretty easy to see that. Where it's way better, I just don't even acknowledge it at all. We're just gonna cover topics like these riots. They're clearly being set up to implement Palantir, right? This is all orchestrated, you know, and obviously we know that they're about to really press the gas on the war with Iran thing, and they're going to pull some type of false flag, and they're going to get everyone like hoorah, you know, like let's go get them. Stuff like that does need to be discussed, and everyone is so like bogged down in the false dichotomy of politics. People like don't realize exactly how like all the space agencies are fake and all this, and like it's a much bigger picture, and so it's hard to find a source that kind of properly dissects what's going on, identifying the Hegelian dialectic without utilizing like fear porn and like you know what I'm saying, like the tribalism of politics and treating it like it's super real and all that. So yeah, that's what I feel passionate about: protecting children, helping break the spells and going on in the world, stuff like that, and helping people get healthy. Um, yeah, so they live longer, live healthier. I think that people don't realize. I was saying this the other day. The impacts of all the medical interventions that we get, certainly like children now, and what they're going to do to lifespans and increase in cancer and serious illnesses and all that. We have no idea. We have no idea how bad it is. We have no idea how infertile people are. We have no idea how, you know, how bad it's going to be because there are children right now, which is going to take a couple decades, 3 decades to really see. And even like the millennials, right? Like we're just now getting to where we're starting to see the implications of all the poison that we were given. It's pretty crazy to think about that. Like they may have already got major wins that we do not have the ability to fully assess the wounds or the damage. Does that make sense? We're behind. Pretty crazy if you think about that. So yep. All right, cool. The Flatter, thank you, Adam. Byron, love your content, bro. You are blessed by Yah. Please explain how you can see clockwise and counterclockwise star trails. This is great proof of not rotating around the sun, but the counter. Always keep your head up regardless. Yeah, much love. You look both ways. You know, like, look, for me, this is going left to right. It's going the opposite for you. We're looking opposite ways. Um, It does actually, I think, flip for you, but anyway, if you spin something, if you're looking at it from opposite ways, then, they look like they go opposite ways. And people say, "That's not the same. The stars are above you." Yeah, and when you look at the stars and you look out into the distance at star trails, for example, you're looking out in front of you, and they come down and merge into the horizon out in front of you. So you actually are looking out, like, up and out, and that's when you see the rotation, right? So Ghost Rider, we need a GoFundMe account for Wit for next space mission with Katy Perry, the astronaut. Yikes. All right. Thanks. Elon Musk as the moderator. That's pretty funny. He would be a terrible moderator, stutter the whole time and stuff. Appreciate it, Shiloh Sasquatch. Any future plans for an in-person FE convention, preferably close to Texas? Yeah, maybe. It looks like if we did do that, I would have to take that over as well. I thought about doing that. I was asked to kind of help set that up and maybe put a team together that sets that up. Preferably close to Texas? Maybe. I was thinking Florida. But yeah, I don't want that to fully go away, you know? Unveil and elevate. No offense, but it's been like a year now where it feels like it's a total waste of money to invest in stuff like Life Reset, the Misfits Discord channel you never go in, the Ko-fi you never post to, etc. I do it to support though. Okay. Fair critique. Discord channel, I never go in. That's true. The Discord channel, like I created all of it and then people didn't really utilize it. And my Discord channels keep getting nuked. So it's like I can't even keep a Discord. I'm so censored they just delete them. So um and yeah, it's obviously up to you, right? Because I took a long break from content and I haven't consistently been doing content because I can't, because literally I can't survive if I did, you know. I do appreciate the support. Obviously up to you. Although the stuff I'm talking about is gonna be different. It's not just gonna be for flat earthers or anything. It's just gonna be something totally different. I can't flat earthers converged on me, bro, you know? Like, if you guys knew the situation, my situation, and, like, how crazy it's been, like, you guys would be like, "Oh my god," right? Like, you would understand, I think. Just give me 5 minutes, please. Always great to see you streaming, brother. Much love. Thank you so much. Bigly Drew, no message. Thank you. Nick, Carrie, Jaren, debate free to air. Thanks for your work. Free to air? I'm not sure what you mean. Debate free to air. It will be released free later on. Dionysius, thank you for the 20. Arctic Mountain and ancient FE models elevated Greenland, cast shadow of night and part of world opposite the sun. The shadow does not extend to Antarctica and southern summer. That's the ancient FE explanation for 24-hour sun. That's pretty interesting. So you're saying you can see the sun all around the world, but there's something that actually casts the shadow. I mean, that is interesting. Thank you for the support. And Bigly Drew, no message. Thank you for the support as well. All right. I just some people are so like, "Dude, you guys are so negative." It's okay because I've met some people in person, and it all makes sense. It's like, oh, I get it. All right, I'm gonna go out of here. I'm super tired, and I need to like try to get some energy. Maybe I'll sleep for a couple hours and just wake up early. I encourage you to go to Summit. It's gonna be dope. A bunch of super dope speakers. Go check it out. Go read the speakers and the presentation is gonna be awesome. And it's basically about like the confinement, like this materialistic world and all these little pseudoscience stories that we're told about how everything works. It actually isn't true. From the body, from health, from how they say the body works, from what they say is all around you that can hurt your body, all the way out to the meta scale, all the way out to cosmology. That isn't how it actually works. And there's like this materialistic confinement that like breeds, you know, nihilism and apathy, and this little closed minded makes us detaches us from understanding how everything works and how powerful we really are and all that. I put together a list of what I consider to be just like legendary speakers that are gonna like really help paint a picture of what it really is. Like you'll never see the world the same basically after the summit, right? And the world is not what you think it is. You'll never see the world the same, and you'll be kind of equipped to realize, whoa, like how powerful you really are. So I really do like to believe that the summit will really help people like just have a totally different outlook on life. So I think it's going to be awesome. take it or leave it. Honestly, it is what it is. So the link's in the description, and I'll hook everyone up there. If you guys help a brother out and go, then I'll hook everyone up. And lifetime, check your email. I'm gonna hook you up. I don't really know we here, but I'm gonna hook you up. Even though obviously the way the previous summits and the setup didn't work out, and so here, I guess it's on me, and I got you. We'll figure it out, and I'll just have faith everything will work out. All right, I love you guys. Seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. So who cares what other people think? Yo, I'm so tired. I feel like I could I could like rap. Better than veterans. Don't want to let them in. Ain't got a choice but to let them in. Food is your medicine. Don't teach you Tesla. Teaching you Edison. Here to be reckoned. It reckon it's time to shut wreckages. Almost said something I couldn't say. Israel was behind 9/11. Don't believe me, then check the subliminal messaging and all the evidence. What is a president? We not elected. That means it's elected. The earth is electric, and that means its residents really your residents. So I hope to settle in something like sediment. All right. I am just sitting here thinking, like, how am I going to stay awake? Maybe I can't, honestly. All right. Seek and speak truth unequivocally. We find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. I love you guys. I encourage everyone, try and like detach from stuff that's like sucking your energy. Or if you're down here, like, remember, like the Charlie Brown adults and just negative toxicity, drama, bad vibes. It's like living in fear and hatred and like saying negative things to people and about people and having bad intentions and being deceptive and trying to put people down and lie. And it's like, really try to just like step away from that and like, why don't you try something new? Why don't you try like showing love, having good intentions, and trying to be forgiving and trying to exercise empathy, so understand other people's perspectives and try to like frequently remind yourself, like, wait a minute, maybe I don't know as much as I think I do. Maybe I should be humble. Maybe I should help other people out. What can I do to help the world? Maybe I'm super powerful and I'm affecting myself. What can I do to help really kind of optimize my health and etc. So that's what I encourage. Also, I would say get right with the creator and just talk to the creator, because you may be surprised. He will answer you. He's super real. The creator is super real, loves you. It's personable. It's not like just a woo-woo thing. It's not just like, oh, it's kind of like a vibe. It's kind of catchy now to say that you're religious. Christ is king. It's like, it's as real as anything you can imagine, right? And he loves you. He'll take care of you. And I encourage you to, seek him out. And don't let other men like jump on you and tell you what you have to do and what you have to think, and real dogmatic, doctrinal, like judgment and stuff. It's, I just say the scripture of the truth, but seek it out for yourself. Seek everything out for proof. Like, hold steadfast at that which is true. Seek it out and prove it. And cool. All right, I gotta go. I love you guys. I'll catch up with you. I do plan on streaming again tomorrow, and then we'll have the summit, which is going to be awesome. So check your emails. All right. That which is popular is rarely true, and what's true is rarely popular.
That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they can get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. The theory's disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature, that mean extorted it. They forging it. If news ain't good informant to informing them, there's there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we court and ships important gifts. Of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informing this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers actors say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder is it real?